見届けるがいい。全てを無に返すこの力を。トルメンタでムルシエラゴ。
Now this may not be a rewind, but I definitely treated the review like one. It's about the new Ulquiorra, the character we're all currently going after, and the best Ulquiorra in the game so far. He might actually be the best power character, he's definitely up there with Oshiro. Now I tried him in several different builds and they were all great. Granted, they would be a lot better if my accessories were better, but they're not, so I made do with what I had. Still, he was viable in all of them, meaning you can take him in a bunch of different things and he'll do just fine. Now this isn't a rewind, so it'll be a little bit different, but I hope you enjoy nonetheless. Now the first build I tried was the strong attack damage build, and this did a ton of damage. After all, he does have the strong attack damage link himself, so you knew it was going to do a lot of damage out of the gate anyway. Here's the thing though, because his strong attack 2 is a charge move, and it does take 40 seconds to recharge, it means you're gonna have to use your normal attack at some point. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, after all it is a boost move, meaning that half the time you're gonna have a boosted normal attack, and it is a really fast one. Seriously, it's faster than a lot of other characters. Unfortunately though, even with the boost, it's not that much damage. It would definitely help if you had some sort of link or accessory that would help your attack, but as it is, it's just kinda mediocre. Still, it's enough to take care of enemies that didn't die immediately with your strong attacks, but they would be very few in number seeing as your strong attacks are really powerful. And that makes this build useful in a variety of situations. For one thing, you can take him in PvP with this build. Now he's not at Retsu level, but he can deal serious amount of damage. He's also a great support character because his strong attack 2 is a shield move as well as the boost move. Not only that, but he also has poise, meaning his strong attacks cannot be interrupted unless he's paralyzed, frozen, or dead. Not only that, but he also has the highest SP in the game, as well as Frenzy and a boosted Saddling. And that's just for PvP. This character is actually meant for PvE, especially since he can inflict debilitating weakening on all of his strong attacks, except for his strong attack 2. Though with this build, unless you boost his attack, you may want to stay in the sidelines until you're able to use your strong attacks. After that, I tried the strong attack recharge build, and honestly, if you're going to do this, I recommend putting either Frenzy Byakuya or Frenzy Yoroichi in this, so you can get extra damage in it. I didn't because I wanted to see how fast the strong attacks would come, but I kinda regret it, since the strong attacks didn't all instantly kill the enemies. Some of them did, but most of them just took them down to low health, and I had to finish them off with a normal attack. Still, as far as builds go, a variation of this is definitely the way to go, especially since Ulquiorra has debilitating weakening. Even though his normal attack can inflict it as well, his strong attacks have a higher chance of inflicting it, so being able to use them over and over again gives you a better chance of inflicting weakening, and thus doing more damage. As I mentioned, a variation of this build would probably be the best way to do it, maybe some sort of strong attack damage / strong attack recharge build. He is meant for PvE after all, and this will let you get the most out of this character. That said, I would not use this build for PvP, as you would probably struggle. Strong attack recharge is possibly the worst type of build you can take in PvP, and this build is really just meant for PvE only. It would excel in guild quests or regular raids, but not in a thing that ends in a matter of seconds. Now if there's a high SP character with a boost move, I have to try a normal attack damage build. This is because even if their attack is pretty low, with the boost move it pretty much becomes over 800, if only for a limited time. That's why this build was the one I was most eager to try. After all, his normal attack is one of the fastest in the game. Now I normally like to chat beat my normal attack characters, just so I can prove what they can do without SP. I wanted to make an exception for this one, but turns out my accessories suck and I couldn't get his attack that high without putting a chappy on him. I'm not gonna lie, if you don't have high SP power accessories, this is not a bad way to go. Like I said, with the boost move his attack is over 800, and that means you're gonna deal a lot of damage. Not only that, but your strong attacks are still usable, in that they boost you, shield you, or can inflict weakening. His normal attack can also inflict weakening, which definitely helps when you have poise. Thanks to all this build is actually usable in PvP as well, though I would get your attack higher than mine is now. Also, aside from the status ailments, my strong attacks weren't completely useless. If you don't already know, your attack does have something to do with how powerful your strong attacks are, even if your SP is at 0. So while they didn't knock out every enemy, they were still strong enough to take out some, and those who didn't die instantly were left seriously injured. If you have this character, I strongly suggest you try out this build, but maybe not equip Chappy to him. Try equipping something else, even if you have to sacrifice a little bit of attack. It's definitely a fun build to try out, even if you're not going to stick with it. Now lastly, I did something that I don't typically do on my reviews, and that's a hybrid build. I went a little bit of everything, and here's where I mean that you might want to have better accessories than I do. My accessories aren't great, so I was only able to boost his stats by about 50%. Lucky for me, I've been playing the game for a while now, so I have a lot of the frenzy characters that would help me do the best possible hybrid build I can. And I have to say I love this build the most. Don't get me wrong, I still think the strong attack recharge / strong attack damage build is the best, but this one was definitely the one that I had the most fun with. This is because no matter how many recharge links you equip to this character, you're still gonna have to use your normal attack at some point or another. And if you hybrid him like I do, your normal attacks are actually gonna do a pretty good amount of damage. And don't forget, your attack stat does have something to do with how much damage your strong attacks do. So if you boost it just a little bit, you are gonna see the benefits. This build allows you to take advantage of every single aspect of this character, from his fast normal attack to his ridiculous strong attacks. While I still think the strong attack recharge / strong attack damage is better, this one definitely lets you appreciate the character more, and appreciate the work that was put into making it. It's also the build best suited for autoing basic missions, because both your strong attacks and your normal attacks are going to do a pretty good amount of damage. Like the other builds, if you get this character, do try out this build, because I really do believe you'll have a lot more fun with this one than you will the others.